I'm going to steer away from that and into Homecoming with our guy, Sam Esmail. We're waiting for Mr. Robot, that final season to drop. But in the meantime, he was like, you know what? I'm going to make every podcaster excited to possibly have a movie about them someday. So I'm really excited. Homecoming, based off the podcast from Eli Horowitz and Michael Bloomberg, starring Julia fucking Roberts on her small screen debut. I mean, what? Stephen James, Bobby Cannavale, Shea Wiggum, and Sissy Spacek. Killer cast. And you know what was the best part about this? Every episode was 30 minutes long.
Some of them were less, 27 minutes.
And I loved that. General thoughts about Homecoming, then we can dig a little deeper into the specific things we liked.
Yeah, I was a big fan. I have it my top 10 shows of 2018. Oh yeah, liked the season a lot. I thought it was to use the word of the podcast. I thought it was a very well paced and it was a very engaging show.
Yeah,
it seemed like each episode ended at the perfect time. You know, it was like it wasn't so much to hit you with stingers, so much as it like, you know, it just ended like really at the right note. And then they would let the scene play out as the credits rolled, which I thought was a really cool touch.
Yeah.
So I think the 30-minute runtime it is nice because there isn't a lot of fat on this show, and it's interesting because it's a conspiracy thriller, a mystery show, but it's not like a mystery box show like like a Lost or something where it's like the mystery is so focused on your enjoyment of the show and figuring out what that is. Right? That's not this. It's not like that complicated, and then also Sam Esmail, guy who we gas every time we talk about Mr. Robot, but he directed every episode of this show, and it really shows because whether it's shifting to that 4:3 aspect ratio and condensing the field of view, these cool overhead shots or just the general visual palette, much like Mr. Robot, it's a beautiful show to watch that looks unlike other shows. So I think it really is the whole package, and the fact that it's a quick listen, it's watch, it's like 5 hours long. It's really great, and they already greenlit a second season. That was before they even shot this one. It was a 2-season order, so very excited to see what happens. But in the meantime, I mean, I didn't even need to care about the plot all the time. It was just great to watch and watch the good performances in a cool way. So yeah, I was a big fan.
Yeah, and it worked so well for TV, the plot, because with some of the we'll talk generally because I don't expect everybody to have seen this at this point. It's just kind of came out to Amazon this month, but with the way that the story kind of revolves around the main character figuring things out, with Shea Wiggum's Department of Complaints or Department of Justice character, defense character, figuring things out as well. You are kind of left at the end of each episode being like, I want to know what happened there. Or like, what was that point, or where was that going? It's super bingeable. I kind of had to almost stop myself from watching too many episodes at once because it's 27 minutes. You're like, I could just throw another one on real quick and move through. The acting is great. I thought the rapport between Roberts and James was great, and Bobby Cannavale just getting to be who he is in every single movie and show.
He really is great at just being a fucking slime ball,
Yeah, so good at it.
Ant-Man, Master of None, Robot, everything he's been in recently, you almost know what to expect, yet he's still great at it. So watching him cook was cool.
Yeah, it was actually funny because I was thinking about how in Robot he had that like awesome scene at the end where he just kind of starts losing it at the end of what is that scene? Yeah, with the axe. Yeah. And he kind of had like a similar scene when he really started to confront Wiggum's character here. I think overall just it's beautifully shot. It's not similar to Robot in any way because Robot's so unconventional, and this almost was like very classical in terms of how it was shot and framing and some of like the scenes of like setting the stage or setting the scene. So really just a great show. I think it's gonna be my top 10 for sure for the year. Any other thoughts about this? I don't really want to spoil just because people aren't gonna have seen it by now.
Yeah, one, I really liked Shea Wiggum's glasses. in the early going, the way they pulled apart. Thought that was fucking awesome. Also, Hong Chow, who was really great in Downsizing last year. She's really come along recently. You know, starts off as just a secretary, and you're like, little undercast for Hong Chow, but no, she gets some good moments later in the season. So I thought that
Mhm.
was cool. And I do like where the show left off for season two. Moving forward, that was cool. And yeah, Shea Wiggum, he's him and Bill Camp, who we're gonna talk about in a little bit. Are they the two best like character actors right now? Like I feel like they're in everything. They can do any kind of performance, and they're always really good. I just like watching them.
Yeah, they're up there. I had the same thought about Camp when I was watching the obviously Wildlife, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But I do think that there's one more that you're forgetting, and he actually was just nominated for 3 movies that were up for Best Picture last year.
Yes,
Michael Stuhlbarg. I think he takes the cake right now. He's just super. Everything he's in is fucking fire. But yeah, those 3 to me are like perfect character actors right now. So we're going to be talking about the Homecoming season 2 whenever it comes out. Did they give a time frame for that?
No, I don't think so. Maybe end of next year. I don't think we have confirmation on whether they're gonna what their plans are. But it's a nice hit for Amazon. They always need more of those. They don't they don't have as many as Netflix does or HBO or anything like that. But yeah, we'll talk about the season again. I'm sure for end of the year. So next month we'll talk about it again.
Amazon might have the best show of the month 2 months in a row with this and Maisel coming out next month. So
Yep.
it's a good time for Amazon.